Yo, it is your boy Nice versus Wild, and you're listening to another episode of Beowulf Sessions. Thank you for tuning in. Yet another week, yet another Monday. You're showing up. This is session number 70. Can you believe it? 70 weeks straight. 7-0 every single Monday. No shit. To be honest, I still can't believe it. But if you're listening and you're here, I genuinely appreciate it. Now, we're going to be talking about some cool stuff today. We're going to be diving deep into the world of artistry and understanding this word so we can apply it to our own life and our own ventures and our own business and our own creativity. And I think if you can relate and understand this word every single day, I think you'll be able to go into things with a lot more intent and a lot more impact. So I'm super excited for this session. Now, if this is your first time listening, my name is Nigel Sashil. I am a full-time creative entrepreneur from South Auckland. I was born in a rural Fijian village called Lambasa, Bunileka, and my mission in life is to write a story that beats longer than my heart. Now, big love to Feature Weddings for sponsoring every single Beowulf Sessions. If you haven't gone and checked out Feature Weddings, go check them out. I'll put their details in the show notes. If you know anybody that's getting married, friends, family, send them to Feature Weddings. They've got you covered. Photo and film. Big love to Feature Weddings for sponsoring every single Beowulf session every single Monday. Yes, mad love to you. All right, back to it. We're going to be talking about artistry versus the algorithm. Yes, I really wanted to talk about this because a lot of times we don't do things because we care about how it's going to perform in the real world or how it's going to perform in the social media era. And we don't try to go after it is because we care too much about what everybody else might think. Now, I want to give you the most realist thing I've ever done in my life. Every single thing I've literally done in my life is because I didn't give a shit what somebody else was going to think about it. And any great success, win, or impact that I've created, not only in myself, but also in my communities, is because I did it without thinking how others might react to it. Someone might hate it. It's all good. I'm still doing it with the right intentions in my own heart. And I think if you are a true artist, you will go for it, believing in your heart and your mind. And being an artist is thinking about the ideas, the thoughts in your brain and doing things without anybody watching. And I'm a genuine believer in that, to be honest. And that's the thing literally I wrote in my diary this week, and I really, really wanted to talk about it. I wanted to talk about that artistry is something you have in your head and your heart, and you go execute on it without thinking how it might perform, how it might play out, what will others think. And we're living in a world, right? That's why I wanted to talk about social media as well. And obviously in this whole environment where sometimes we don't try because we're too focused around what someone else might think. And I think a lot of times I've made this mistake as well when I was a lot younger. We start thinking about, man, why should I even do it? It's not even like getting to the right years. It's not even giving me the financial revenue. It's not even making me any benefits. I'm not even getting any rewards out of this. And I believe if we go into this mindset, have you seen what the things that are in trend and how people follow and how people try to replicate things just so they can get more exposure, more traction towards their own thing. And I always I've always been a big thinker about doing something in your own artistic way, because for longevity, originality will always win. And I'm a big believer in that. And I was listening to Hassan Minaj, I think that's how you say his name. Hopefully I said it right. He's a great guy with great articulation skills, and I've been watching him. I've been watching him for years, but he's, to be honest, one of my big role models. And I like listening to. He's a comedian. I'll put his details in the show notes, and the way he conveys his narratives and his stories, and I love it. I'm a big storyteller in my heart, and a big narrator, or I'm aspiring to be one. And I think it's believing, like, it's just so cool how he like articulates the story. And I heard him saying a lot of stuff around being an artist versus being in the algorithm. And I think there's so much strength in understanding this concept. And I've always done this. I've said it in so many episodes, never be a sellout. Never be a sellout. Like, I'll do it my way, regardless of how it might play out. But as long as I go into that grave knowing that I gave it all my heart and all with pure intentions, and I think it's understanding that ideology that makes me wake up every single day and just show up like we're showing up for 70 sessions every single Monday. And it gives me so much more strength, because I genuinely believe in my heart that, like, we can create so much more good, positive change in ourselves if we have that artist mindset, rather than doing what's in trend, pretty much. And I think I don't know, hopefully you can resonate. And if you're not resonating, I really encourage you to, go out into this week, into this Monday, into this whole month, or whenever you're listening to this session, with the intentions of creating from your heart and your mind, and not expecting anything in return. And I promise you, the right people will always connect to your thoughts, to your processes. And they'll find a sense of belonging and love in the narrative and the story that you are trying to pursue. And this just I believe that. And I think I've made this mistake as well, like thinking that if I like copy somebody, or if I try to be like this person, or if I try talk like this person, or if I try sell them this idea like how this person sold them this idea, or if I try to copy a certain edit style when I was when I take photos, and like, it's never really worked out. It really hasn't. Like, it might have worked out for a little while, and then after that it didn't really work out at all. And I think I've been the copycat, trust me. And sometimes, I'm not saying being a copycat isn't a bad thing. Like, sometimes you have to copy and learn and understand, like, how others are successful in their craft, so you can replicate it, and then also develop your own style. And any artist, any creative will say that, like, like some of the greatest teachers in the world, they put the greatest artists or creatives or business owners into your head with their books, with their ideologies, and they say, can you copy this? Can you replicate this? And that's how you learn the basics, the fundamentals of either a business owner, a creative, a journalist, an artist, a community worker, a storyteller, a writer. Like, you get it. Like a doctor. Like, like, you go into these systems and in these environments learning from the best. But let me ask you this question: how do you become the best at what you do in your craft? Right? You have to create a point of difference. You have to create a sense of value. You have to create a sense of change that's maybe a little bit better than what it is right now in that current state of craft and industry movement, whatever you call it. In that space and environment, how can you make it better to thrive for longer? How can you come into a room and make it more vibrant, more actually, how can you come into a room and make it, even if you make it less vibrant, and then make it more vibrant? Like, sometimes we have to go a couple of steps back. Sometimes we have to go the different direction, figure shit out, and then come back into the room and be like, hey, look, this is what I learned in a different space. And that's why I always encourage everybody that listens to these beautiful sessions to always put yourself in difficult situations and uncomfortable environments. And you're probably thinking, nice, that's easy for you to say because you do this. Nah, it's not that. I never could do this. I could never talk in front of a camera and just like bunch. I'm literally got no notes, bro. I'm literally speaking out of my heart and my mind like an artist would, right? I'm not telling you to be perfect. Every single Be a Wolf session was not perfect. And that's the fucking magic. It's not about fucking being flawless, bro. It's about showing up in your own craft and your own abilities, and believing that if you can just learn from yourself every single week and reflect on your ideas and your thoughts every single week, I promise you will still be fine at the end. I genuinely believe that, because if you are moving, if you are breathing, if you are trying, if you are learning, if you're applying self-education principles to your life, to your craft, to your business, to your community every single day, every single week, if you take a couple of days off because you're like sick, and I've been sick, and it's all good, as long as you go back to the routines that work for you. And being an artist is understanding that you're not going to get everything right. Sometimes it takes 5,000 episodes to get one episode right. And that's why I'm a big believer in my promises and my abilities. And I think, like I've said this, the person with the greatest self-confidence is the person that can keep a promise to themselves. And I encourage you to keep a promise to yourself, whatever promise it is, and don't, like, if you want to share it to the world and tell them the promise, that's all good. But the promise that you make to yourself is probably the most important, because an artist always follows the heart, the head, and executes without anybody watching. I'm serious. Yeah. So heck of a session. Wanted to talk about this a little bit and really dive deep into it. I feel like we could do this for ages. Big love to Hassan Minaj for inspiring me to do this session this week. And I think listening to him talk and his abilities and how he communicates, I think that's awesome. I think he's a great storyteller. And I can resonate, but he's a brown boy, and it's weird the people that you relate to, right? It's usually somebody that's like had like some sort of the same upbringing, or like look like you on TV, or like I feel the same. Like me younger, like growing up in environments and stuff like that. Like I've talked about this a lot. Like the people in my own environments I looked up to so much, and I know that you listening, and there's so many people that you look up to that like you can see them doing it, and you ask yourself, if that person can do it, that means I can too. And we talked about that in the last couple episodes as well. So I think we're getting somewhere. We might not be getting good, but we're getting somewhere. And I think that's good. I think that's progress. I'm gonna take that as progress. Yeah, man. I think that's me. I think that is me this week. 13-minute session. It's a quick one, but I think it's a good one. Think about how you can be a better artist. Think how you can be a little bit more original. It's okay to get inspired and have conversations and copy as you learn the principles. But as you get better and better, as you develop the skill, don't just follow all the trends. Don't just do it for the algorithm. Do it for your thought process, your ideas that you genuinely care about, and that you want to leave an impact in this world. And I promise you, the fulfillment that comes from that is so much better than anything else. So keep being a wolf, keep being you, keep showing up, and I'll see you next Monday. Peace and love.